No scandal here. The state of the Broncos is super thanks to John Elway, who finally gets to say, we're number one. Among those joining us to talk about one of the best Super Bowls ever is MVP Terrell Davis. Who will be the next Elway? We have an exclusive interview with Peyton Manning, a top choice in April's draft. And we look back at a season to remember with moments both inspirational and poignant. And now, the show the pros watch, Inside the NFL, with your hosts, Len Dawson, Nick Bonacotti, Chris Collinsworth, and Jerry Glanville.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our final show of the season. Gentlemen, last week when we were in San Diego analyzing Super Bowl 32, we were on a roll. We were red hot. We all agreed this is going to be a no-brainer. Green Bay is going to win.
Yeah, Lenny, I watched that game in Colorado. After the ball game, I'm walking through a restaurant. One of the patrons in a restaurant yells, "Hey, Len, nice pick." I never corrected him. I just kept right on going.
Thanks a lot for throwing me to the wind.
You know, the one thing, though, about this game is that I don't think we're taking enough credit for the Broncos win. That's right, because I was in the locker room after that ball game, and we had the Broncos so mad that the four of us, they all watched the thing. I said, well, it wasn't just me, you know, Lenny.
We helped motivate them.
Jerry, yeah,
I'll take credit.
Ready.
Well, I want to ask you three, what's the name of the trophy both these teams are playing for?
Lombardi.
The Vince Lombardi Trophy. Well, one thing I learned from Vince Lombardi is he said, fatigue makes cowards of us all. And what I saw with the Green Bay Packers was fatigue. Shame on the Packers. I think they lost the Super Bowl because of poor conditioning.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The Packers could say, well, wait a minute, we had a lot of guys that were aching and hurting, but I know this. Vince Lombardi would never accept an excuse.
And Vince Lombardi also loved the physical nature of football. And because he did, I think he's very proud on this day that his trophy is with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, and I think we don't give enough importance to that loss that Denver suffered at the hands of Jacksonville last year in the playoffs. This is a team that had to live with that bad taste in their mouth an entire year. They went to training camp and they dedicated and they committed themselves not only to get to the Super Bowl, but to win it.
I'll tell you one thing I think we forgot, at least I did, how difficult it was for Denver to go into Kansas City and beat them and go into Pittsburgh and beat the Pittsburgh. So that's absolutely, they deserve to be champions of Super Bowl 32. Folks, you may have seen the game, but now you're going to hear the game as only NFL films can provide. We put a microphone on Denver head coach Mike Shanahan, the first time a winning coach has worn a mic since my old coach, Hank Stramp, did it in Super Bowl IV.
Super Bowl Sunday dawns in surprising silence before the fine line between final preparation and the final battle dissolves into a spectacle of awesome pageantry. For some, the soaring expectations of Super Bowl dreams had been fulfilled. But for one Top Gun, one last, perhaps best chance remained.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Two great teams playing the last one of the year. It's our day, baby. Front center this game. Front center. We gotta dominate this game. Dominate. Dominate. 1, 2, 3. Dominate. That's what it's all about. Woo! Go out and play your hearts out. We'll come out on top. Leave it out here, baby. Broncos on 3. 1, 2, 3. Broncos.
The Broncos' defense started out tough on the ground. But Mike Shanahan went through the roof when he thought Brett Favre should have been called for intentional grounding.
Hey! Paul, he's in the pocket! I know, but he's in the pocket! How can he blow that one? I know you can't. Look at him. Look at him. Look at the picture right here. Oh, my God. Hey, Ben, when we get a time, I want to talk to Ed. Hey, Ed! Ed!
he do that, Ben? How can he do that on the first thing? They said it was absolutely horrible.
Absolutely horrible would also describe the Denver secondary for the rest of the Packers' first drive. Green Bay running back Dorsey Levens exploited huge holes and missed tackles to gain 24 yards on 2 carries to move the Packers into Bronco territory. Favre and Antonio Freeman, number 86, did the rest.
Receiver on the left. Here's Brett straight back in the pocket. Some time going to the end zone. Back there is Antonio Freeman. Touchdown, Packers! Antonio Freeman on an absolutely gorgeous throw by Brett Favre. 22-yard touchdown pass. A 76-yard touchdown drive by the Packers on the very first series of the game.
It's all right. Let's go, guys. That's all right. That's all right. Let's go. Let's go. It's all right.
Just turn it like them. Up. The only thing that wasn't perfect is pulling the quarterback down. 2 or 3 of you guys had a hit on him. Take him down now.
The AFC champions then began a drive which showed that they had learned and mastered NFC smash mouth football.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Go.
The blitz again, handoff left side, Davis. Terrell Davis outside the 40, 35, 30, TD down the sideline, inside the 25, still on his feet, inside the 20, inside the 15. First down, Denver, a run of 26 yards.
Linebacker Brian Williams tried to get a leg up on Denver running back Terrell Davis, but Davis patiently followed his blocks and devastated the Green Bay defense.
But I'm going to tell you what, Rod Smith down the field helped Terrell pick up maybe an extra 4 or 5 yards.
Let's go! Even wasn't just. Come on!
John Elway's 10-yard scramble gave the Broncos a 1st and goal at the 2-yard line.
That's the old John Elway that's been doing it for 100 years. This year he kind of slacked off, but he saw that goal line and he went for it.
Okay, goal line. Goal line.
Denver's goal line offense is based on their power running game.
Elway, handoff, Davis into the end zone, touchdown! Yeah. A pretty good way for the Broncos to answer the Packers' opening drive.
That's called an answer.
And we are started for a big-time game.
They made that look pretty easy, Jim. Pretty hard to run inside against the pack.
The Broncos ran right at number 93, Gilbert Brown, the 350-plus pound behemoth whom experts said couldn't be budged from the line of scrimmage.
Hey, guys, you're going to come down with one now.
Come on, baby. Let's get that turnover.
It didn't take long for the first NFC turnover since Super Bowl 28.
Pass is going to be intercepted. Braxton down.
Terrell Davis ran the Broncos deep into Packer territory once again as he finished the first quarter with 64 yards on only 9 carries. But with the game tied at 7, Denver needed to find another way to cross the goal line when their star runner left the game.
And I think Davis may be shaken up. And this would be
Bad.
costly for the Broncos.
How are you?
TD. Dave, number 30 on the bench right now, getting some medical attention. My guesstimate is he may have a migraine. He's been taking some of that oxygen.
Need a little rest?
Okay.
So after the first quarter, we find that it is all tied at 7-7. Joining us now is the game's most valuable player and one of the most courageous players ever to play in a Super Bowl, Terrell Davis. Terrell, thank you very much for joining us. But I want to ask you about the beginning of this ball game when the Packers took that opening kickoff, went in and scored a touchdown. I said, oh, no, not again. This is another blowout. But what were you and your offensive players thinking on the sideline?
Well, we're just thinking that we had to go back and respond to the challenge they put out. We understand that the Green Bay Packers have a very potent offense, and we realize that we're going to either have to match them point for point and match their intensity. I think our offense was able to do that.
Terrell, you're obviously one of the tougher guys playing in the National Football League. I've never had a migraine headache. Please explain to me why it was that you could not play in the second quarter and what happened to get you back on the field.
Well, what happens is that before I get a migraine, I have a problem, seeing. It's almost like everything is triple and quadruple vision for me, so it's kind of hard to see. But what happens, I took a medication for that, and it takes 15, 20 minutes for that to clear up. Once that clears up, then I can go back and play, and the migraine never really comes on. So I missed the second quarter because I couldn't see in the second quarter. That was the reason why I wasn't on the field at that time.
So what did they do to you at halftime, if anything, to get you ready? Maybe what were your teammates saying to you, like, get back out there, we can't do anything without you? And did it have anything to do with that fumble to start the second half?
No, the fumble, I just fumbled the ball. I mean, there's no reason for that. I can't blame the flap jacket on that because I didn't wear one. So it was just a great job on their half of getting the ball, taking the ball from me, and I was just careless with it.
Thank you very much. Would you please stay with us, Terrell, because after we take a look at the highlights of the second half, we'd like to chat with you once again.
Okay.
Terrell Davis had one of the greatest games in Super Bowl history, but not one of his 157 yards came in the second quarter. When the second quarter started, the score was tied 7-7, but the Broncos were about to change that.
Okay, we're going to go goal line. We're going to go goal line. We'll go with the slide if they go 6-2, okay? And if they stay with their base, go with our Fox 3 run.
Third and goal at about the 2.5-yard line.
Yeah, one of the first big plays of the game here, Jim. They'd love to hold him to a field goal. Elway, very tough in this situation, may roll out.
Elway brings McCaffrey in motion, play fake. Elway rolls right. He can run it in. John, it will trot into the end zone. Touchdown.
Green Bay really pitched everything inside, and he had daylight to the outside on the right.
One key to this play's success was the presence of Terrell Davis. Although Davis was still woozy, Mike Shanahan used his feature back as a decoy.
What's that? Can't see. Okay, just do this. You don't worry about seeing on this place because we're going to fake it to you the 15 lead. But if you're not in there, they won't believe we're going to throw the ball, okay?
With Green Bay keying on Davis, Elway's play fake resulted in a wide-open route to the end zone.
The fact that the Packers are getting gassed by the Bronco running game really helps those play fakes. They got to respect it, and that's just what they did.
That's what a good running attack does. It makes all of those trick plays work.
We are playing the Indianapolis Colts. We're playing Indianapolis Colts right now. This team is not better than us. They're not even good. And we're letting them do that thing on. We never seen them grow. Look, when you get back in the game, man, we gotta start. We gotta make a statement, man. We gotta make a statement. We gotta bust these dudes in the mouth. Bust them in the mouth. Ran over.
But it was the Broncos who kept busting the big plays.
Squirted out, and Denver with their second turnover of the first half.
Romanowski and Atwater both coming on the blitz. They just had them outnumbered.
Outnumbered and in serious danger of falling behind by 14 points. At this stage of the game, the Packers had run just 5 plays for 10 net yards and scoring their first quarter touchdown. 2 of those plays had resulted in turnovers. But Denver would fail to turn this Packer miscue into a touchdown. The Broncos faltered without Terrell Davis in the lineup, and when John Elway tried a deep pass to Rod Smith, the attempt was rejected by Tyrone Williams. Denver salvaged matters when Jason Elam kicked the second longest field goal in Super Bowl history.
Can he kick it? Kick it.
Be a try of 51 yards near hash. Tom Ruin is the holder. Snap is good. Elam puts a leg into it. Does it have the distance? It's on its way, and it is good! Good from 51.
Hey, guys, let's go! 58-36.
The Packers responded with 3 running plays that failed to net a first down.
There's no way they can run the ball.
Midway through the second quarter, Green Bay got its groove back. On a 3rd and 10 from the Packer 5-yard line, Brett Favre threw a dart that Mark Chmura clawed in the clutch. Chmura's catch kept the drive alive, and this march featured several big-time grabs by Green Bay's receivers. A 95-yard scoring drive, the second longest in Super Bowl history, was unfolding before a frustrated Mike Shanahan.
Okay, Ray, it's where we make a play. Alfred, it's where we make a play. Let's go. Let's get him going.
With 17 seconds remaining in the half, it was Favre who made the biggest play.
Touchdown by the Packers. Caught in the end zone by Chmura at the deep right corner on a little lofted pass by Brett Favre.
Oh, what a touch by Brett, Jim. Chmura behind him back there, but a couple of guys between the ball and Brett lobbed it over. Chmura came down with it.
A great throw by Brett Favre, just over the outstretched hands of Tyrone Braxton.
During the drive, Favre completed passes to 5 different receivers and was 9 for 14 for 74 yards. He had looked every bit like the league's co-MVP, and that had to be bad news for the Broncos as the first half came to a close.
After 2 periods, the Denver Broncos lead the Green Bay Packers by 3 points. Joining us now is the All-Pro tight end for the Green Bay Packers, Mark Chmura, who had 2 outstanding catches in that 95-yard touchdown drive by the Green Bay Packers just before halftime. Thank you very much, Mark, for joining us on the program. Let me ask you, at halftime after that touchdown, did you guys think you had things turned around?
Yeah, we did. We felt we kind of played a sloppy first half, and it wasn't our best football. And we thought we were in good position for the way that we played. So we were confident going into halftime.
Mark, I want to ask you about the Denver Broncos blitz package. It looked like they were really confusing the offensive line's blocking, and actually the back never got over to pick it up. What was happening there?
Well, I think they showed us some things they haven't shown on film before. I thought defensively they had a great game plan. The tough thing about it is if they used the blitz package, they wouldn't come back to it again. They'd go to something else, and I think that's what created a lot of confusion for the offensive line and backs.
When you were on the sideline, it was Denver's last drive. Were you aware that your head coach sent in the message to let Denver score?
No, but referring back to the Indianapolis game, the game we lost, looking back, he would have wanted their offense to score to get the ball back into Brett's hands. And I think offensively, we knew Mike might be thinking that, and we almost pulled it off. I mean, we got the ball down to the 30-yard line, but really just ran out of time and misfired on a couple plays. But, you know, it's just one of those calls, I guess.
On the 4th down play, the last play for your offensive football team, both the Denver Bronco corners are injured. They're out of there. Was the play designed to go to you?
Yeah, yes, it was. Really, it was just for me to get open, to just get the first down. And I thought I had the linebacker beat initially, but Brett had a little pressure in the face, didn't hook up with me, and, you know, we just didn't get it done.
Terrell Davis, that offensive line of the Denver Broncos, I mean, he just tore your defense apart. I mean, were you surprised how easily Denver was able to run on you guys?
A little bit. I mean, the way our defense has been playing the last month and a half of the season, they haven't been giving up points. And I think the weather might have had a little bit to do with it. They looked like they were a little bit fatigued. You know, Reggie's back was bothering them. I think we were a little short in the defensive line, and you know, I think that was the reason for Terrell Davis having such a big day.
Mark, I know it's not easy to come on and talk about a loss, but we certainly appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
From Hawaii, let's go to Denver, Colorado, and talk to one of the outstanding defensive players in Super Bowl 32, free safety Steve Atwater. Steve, Mark Chmura just caught a pass for a touchdown before halftime. How concerned were you about the second half?
Well, we were pretty concerned. We felt like we had done some good things in the first half, but they got that long drive on us, and we came in at halftime and we talked about it and just reiterated the fact that we needed to continue to play one play at a time and not get ahead of ourselves. Basically, we came in and we didn't make too many adjustments. We just need to stick to our game plan and execute.
I want to talk about Favre because I looked at that sack, and he turned away from you, turned his shoulders away from his back was to you. Why didn't he back up? Was that something that you picked up in the films?
Well, not really. That's just a play. I'm sure they had a short pass route called in that play, and he thought he could get the ball off quickly to the wide receiver on their side. And fortunately, our cornerback was able to have tight coverage on that play where he couldn't throw the ball right away, and I was able to get in there and make the easy sack. Whenever a guy doesn't block me, I'm supposed to do that.
In the third quarter, you dropped what looked like an easy interception. Did you think that this play was going to haunt you forever?
Oh, most definitely. When I dropped it, the first person I saw when I came down was Ray Kroc, and he's looking at me like, man, we talked about this all week. We can't let these opportunities slip by us. And I felt really bad about it, but there's nothing I could do about it at that point but go out and continue to play as hard as I could. And fortunately, the rest of my teammates, they picked it up, I picked it up, and it didn't haunt us.
I'll tell you one thing, they're not going to bring back Stickum regardless of what you say. I want to talk about your feelings. You know, the last Super Bowl game that you and the Broncos played in against San Francisco, you really got waxed. Now, you won this ball game, you're happy. I guess an estimated 600,000 fans lined the streets of downtown Denver to honor you guys. Tell us, what's the feeling like?
I'll tell you what, that feeling is really indescribable. It's the first Super Bowl victory for the state of Colorado, for the AFC in 13 years. And it's a huge monkey off not only the Denver Broncos back, but I think everyone in the AFC is back. Now the door has been opened. We can go ahead and try to win more games in the AFC now.
Well, thank you very much, because being an old AFC guy, we really appreciating getting us off the snide, as they say. Congratulations. Thank you very much for being part of the show.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
The Broncos took a 17-14 lead into halftime, but most Packer fans probably weren't worried too much, especially after the first play of the third quarter.
Let's go, let's get this half started. Great job at first. We gotta finish what we start. Here we go.
To finish where they started, they needed a healthy Terrell Davis in the Denver backfield. His migraine was gone, but on the first play of the second half, he got another headache from the Packer defense.
I bet you they slip it to Davis on the first play.
And the pitch goes back to Davis, through the line, gets a couple of yards, maybe 3 or 4, lost the ball, down about the 27-yard line. The Packers have the ball. The Packers have the ball.
One quick strike would put the Packers ahead, and the Broncos gave them every opportunity to keep their scoring drive alive.
Throws deep down the right sideline. Pass going to be intercepted and dropped by Steve Atwater. Oh, mercy, mercy. Atwater will never have an easier pick.
Wow, that could have been a big play.
You can feel the size from the Denver fans all the way here in San Diego.
But the Pack hurt themselves with 2 penalties that prevented them from getting any further than the Denver 9-yard line.
Good.
The game became a classic boxer versus puncher. Green Bay was bigger, but Denver was faster and quicker. They showed speed and smarts can neutralize superior strength. The Packers were frustrated and manhandled by a Bronco defense that has improved dramatically since allowing the Packers 41 points in their last meeting. Up by 7 with 8 minutes left in the quarter, it was the Broncos who were frustrated.
Smith at about the guy calls fair catch at the 13-yard line. Now a flag. I think he called it too late.
That's going to be an illegal fair catch.
Hey, Don, what are you doing? Don, he won like this. Hey, Don, do me a favor. Look at the replay when you get a chance. Hey, Don. Hey, Don, he went and waved his hand. It showed it on the replay. He waved it.
From where I was, he put it straight up.
I know, but you know, this is a Super Bowl. And then you don't look at it good enough, and then he waves it and you call, and this is a Super Bowl.
I realize that, but if I don't have an invalid signal and they come down and hit him, I've got
But don't you got to make sure that it's...
I made sure.
Don, I'm not lying to you.
Broncos backed up to their 8-yard line.
Still trying to find his stride, Terrell Davis took some serious shots from Packer defenders. For a moment, it appeared he lost their respect.
He got a concussion. He's scared to run the ball. He ain't running hard no more. He ain't gonna run hard no more. He's scared. They out the game. They gotta take him out. They gotta take Davis out.
Scared? Hardly. On the final drive of the third period, Davis went through and around the Packers to set the table for Denver. Denver's longest play of the game.
Will turn, play fake in the pocket. John pats it once, lets it go wide open. McCaffrey inside the 40. Eddie Mack inside the 35. First down, Denver.
No one around him. The safety kind of came up too far. And nice placement, nice pass. Biggest play of the game.
The Broncos were driving with power, not finesse. More smash mouth than West Coast.
He dives inside the 5-yard line.
My goodness. You want to tell me the 37-year-old man doesn't want to win this game?
Man, oh, man.
That's sacrifice. Oh, man.
Second and goal from the 1. Elway. Davis to the end zone. Touchdown, Denver. That was a 93-yard drive.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Packers right now, let me tell you, not to overstate this, but Green Bay right now looking like a very tired football team.
The Packers did not become world champions by lying down. But with their championship banners still flying, they got laid out by the Broncos special teams.
This will be Freeman at the 9. The 15-20 cuts back to the left side and loses yard. Ball's free, fumble. Broncos have it. Denver has the football.
That one turnover could have spelled doom for the Pack, but their resiliency kept them in the hunt.
Intercepted. Eugene Robinson. By Eugene Robinson in the end zone. He's coming out on the run. Eugene to the 15-yard line. What a play.
The takeaway gave Green Bay renewed confidence along with the ball and time for one last play in the third quarter.
Upfield, across the middle. To Freeman, to the 35, to the 40, and Freeman out of bounds at the 41.
Only time would tell if John Elway's interception would open the door for a Packer comeback or be just another obstacle in Denver's path to their first Super Bowl win.
The third quarter has ended. One more to go in Super Bowl 32. The Broncos have a 7-point lead, but the Packers are on the move. Joining us now is the man John Elway goes to when he needs to keep a drive alive. That would be All-Pro tight end Shannon Sharpe. Shannon, thank you very much for joining us on the program. I asked you about Chris Collinsworth because he told me in the locker room after the ball game you gave him a lot of static. What's that all about?
Because, you know, I think the thing was I wanted to know one thing. What did you all see in Green Bay that you didn't see as us, that you thought they were so much an overwhelming favorite? I mean, we earned the right to be there. I mean, it wasn't by default that we got there. Some team had beat us. They got caught in a blizzard, and they couldn't show up, so Denver was going to take their place.
I think it was the 13 years. I think everybody got, enthralled with the 13 years of losing.
Give it to him now. Give it to him. Good
let me ask you a question. Yeah, it was 13 years the AFC had lost, but Denver didn't lose 13 in a row. But no one had came in from the AFC with as vaunted offenses we had, with a John Elway and a Terrell Davis. No one had a defense. We led the AFC in total defense. Everybody overlooked that. And the thing that we saw, because they had 3 losses, we realized they had chinks in that armor. There were some things that we could exploit, and I think we showed that Sunday.
You know, I was with your offensive line coach, Alex Gibbs, on Friday night, and he looked at me, he said, guess what? The whole world, including the Packers, has taken the hook and swallowed the bait. What was he talking about?
They did. They bought into that they were better than we were. The NFC was better than the AFC. The Green Bay Packers were better than the Broncos. They bought into the fact that they could have just shown up and they're going to win the ball game. You know, all year long, we ran the football down people's throat. I mean, Terrell had almost 1,800 yards. Now, all of a sudden, we get to the Super Bowl, our offensive line is too small. Well, how is Terrell Davis going to run between the tackles?
Good point.
The thing that I like most about Mike Shanahan is he does not let the media or anybody else dictate what he's going to do. We're going to run the ball. If they stop us, they stop us. But we're not going to let you all tell us that we can't go in this game.
Come on, Shannon. Come on. Let's face it, though. Gilbert Brown. I mean, who thought that you guys are going to be able to run against a 370-pound defensive tackler, Reggie White? I mean, these were guys who were stuffing everybody else in the NFC. All of a sudden, you guys come up and you're going to run the football. Come on, take it from our point of view. These guys were almost unstoppable. Now, wait a minute. Were you surprised that they lacked the toughness?
No. I think if you look at it like this. Before Mike Tyson got knocked out by Buster Douglas, he would go 5, 6, almost a year before anybody wanted to fight him. But the moment he got beat, everybody wanted to step up and fight him. A month as soon as you get through with one fight, somebody else wanted to step up. When they lost those games, we saw they could be beat. Now, if they had been undefeated, yeah, maybe we'd have been a little hesitant. But when you lose, you can be beat. And on any given Sunday, and the thing that I said best, Mike Shanahan told us, say, which would you rather have happen? Would you rather go to Kansas City? Would you rather go to Pittsburgh? Or would you rather play Green Bay on a neutral site? To a man, to a coach, we had rather play Green Bay at a neutral site. And now here's this thing, he let us score. Don't try to diminish what we accomplished. We won the football game. Even if that been true, just say, hey, the better team won the game. They played better than we did. They out-hustled us. They outdid everything better. That's why they won the game. Don't say, well, we let them score. Well, I guess you let them score the other 24 points also, huh?
Well, I'm not going to let this interview go any further until you give these three guys the same heat you gave me in the locker room for picking the Green Bay Packers. Go ahead, lay it on them. Lay it on them good.
Chris, I cannot believe. I think Jerry had it. What did you have it, Jerry? 41-7?
No, not that bad. Not that bad.
That's about right. Now get Lynn.
Somebody had 38-14, but I'm just trying to, please help me understand. I mean, and then explain it to me as if I was 15. How? What did you all see? I mean, I'm sure you all watched the same tape that we watched. What did you all see in Green Bay that made them so much of an overwhelming favorite over us? I mean, what did you see that we didn't see? I mean, we had a Hall of Fame quarterback. They got one. We got a great running game. We got a great defense. No, we don't have a Reggie White, someone that gets that kind of credit. All-time sack leader, Hall of Fame. We don't have those kind of people. But I tell you what we do have. We have 11 guys that believe in each other. We have a coaching staff, just like they had, that put their players in the best situation to go out there and make plays. But I want you all to tell me and tell the whole world out there that's watching this telecast what you all saw in Green Bay that you all thought they were going to go out there and dominate us.
Well, I really didn't see anything in Green Bay, because I didn't get an opportunity to talk to you, Shannon.
If you'd have talked during the week, we'd have been all right. You kept your mouth shut. We didn't know any better.
You had that gag order going, and we didn't know how good you were.
Well, I think if you put honey in the bottom of the pit and the bear can look over there and see it, he's not going to go fall in the trap. You have to lay the trap perfect. You got to cover it up with nice and leaves and not let the bear see the trap.
All right, Shannon, we concede, and we deserve that as well. Yes, we did. Hey, how about the Broncos? They're 15 minutes away from winning Super Bowl 32, but there were a lot of anxious moments ahead.
In crunch time, teams turn to what they do best. Trailing by 7 entering the fourth quarter, the Packers hitched their hopes to the rifle arm of Brett Favre, and he did not disappoint.
Now Favre straight back in the pocket, looking at that arm. Touchdown for the Packers to Freeman. He threw it to the left side, and it just beat everybody, and Freeman has a chance to tie the ball game. That was a champion right there.
Super Bowl 32 was now tied, and the Packers appeared rejuvenated.
That's why we're a team, baby. That's why we're a team. That's why we're a team.
Just keep coming. Keep coming. Just keep on.
The Broncos did keep coming, forcing punts on the Packers' next 2 possessions. And while Favre frequently gave the ball too much air, Gilbert Brown couldn't seem to find enough, a fact that did not go unnoticed.
Come on, suck it up, big boy. You got 11 minutes now. You got 11 minutes.
You got 11 minutes.
We're starting to wear Gilbert down now, and he's starting to having trouble getting up.
Okay, we got what we want. Perfect.
The perfect play seemed to be any that forced the tired Packers to run.
Go, go, go. There you go.
John Elway's 23-yard completion to Howard Griffith with just over 2 minutes to play also showed the Broncos were not only capable of out-hustling the Packers, but out-muscling them as well.
Inside the 25, gets a block inside the 15. Griffith inside the 10-yard line.
Oh, my. I'm going to tell you what. Ryan Williams, that's Ed McCaffrey that just tattooed you and allowed that thing to go down another 15 yards.
Handoff Davis, left side.
San Diego native Terrell Davis wowed the hometown crowd with a power running game strangely reminiscent of Lombardi's Packers. With the NFL's smallest offensive line opening some very large holes, Davis racked up 157 yards and won MVP award. With under 2 minutes to play, he would put the Bronx back out in front with his 3rd touchdown of the day.
Davis. It is a rocking standing. Can you say Denver is in the lead? For a rushing touchdown, that's a Super Bowl record for TD. And the Broncos are a minute and 45 away from a world championship.
But first, they would have to play a little defense.
Play like you always do.
A lot of blitz.
Yeah, whatever you would do normal.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Regular! Hey!
Many have likened Brett Favre to John Elway, but before he can receive such an accolade, he must master the art of the 4th quarter comeback. Dorsey Levin's 22-yard catch and ramble put the Pack within striking distance.
Come on! Will they bring pressure? Here they come. Favre. Pass over the middle is going to be incomplete. Incomplete. Atwater with the big-time hit of Robert Brooks. Hilliard is down, Atwater is down, and Brooks is down. I mean, Atwater hit Hilliard and Brooks, and I'm not sure if he had knocked all 3 guys out.
We got 3 guys out. Yeah. Atwater, Hilliard, and Crockett.
And 38 years without a championship in football has come down to 1 play. And I don't mind rooting. Come on, baby. Somebody make a play.
This is it. Come on.
4th and 6 for the 31. Blitz is on. Favre hit as he throws. Pass is going to be incomplete. Denver! Denver's going to win it. Oh, baby, they're going to win this thing. Are you kidding me?
We win. We win. We won.
I just don't think I understand that throw by Brett Favre.
Well, he's human.
Yeah, he is.
The 1997 Broncos will be remembered not only for winning Super Bowl 32, but for what they had to overcome to get there. A late season lapse, 2 road playoff games, and the franchise black cloud of 4 previous Super Bowl losses.
This will be the sweetest kneel down in John Elway's career. Go ahead and salute them, Denver. You got the world champions. The Broncos have done it. They have shocked everybody, and they have won Super Bowl 32.
In one of the great upsets of NFL history, they cast out every demon, stopped every streak, and claimed their first ever NFL title. And for John Elway, the man who has borne the brunt of most of those past failures, there is well-deserved joy. It is forever his moment.
There's one thing I want to say here tonight. There's only 4 words. This one's for John.
It's also a symbol for anyone who has ever had the courage to not give up.
The miracle has happened. The Denver Broncos have defeated the very heavily favored Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 32, ending 13 years of dominance by the NFC. Let's bring back the most valuable player in Super Bowl 32, and that would be Terrell Davis. Terrell, I want to bring you back to a point there. You know, you're standing on the sidelines. Favre still has the football with another play to go. You lose Atwater and Gordon in a collision. Braxton was already out of the game. How concerned were you about your defensive backs?
Well, at that point in the game, I think our defense was playing well. Our defensive backs have been playing, pretty good the entire game. So, I mean, it came down to that last play, and I just had faith that our defense would come through.
You know, one of the things that became very apparent in the 4th quarter of that game was that the Green Bay Packers players were over there sucking big ostrich eggs and huffing and puffing. Were you guys in the huddle saying, hey, we got them now. These guys, they can't even run with us anymore?
Well, that's what we normally do. When we see people on the other side on their knees and bending over, and you know, sitting there on the ground trying to get air, I think it tends to pick our team up a lot more because we're used to that. We're used to people coming up to the mile high and being in the altitude and not having a lot of air. So when we saw that, we just kind of fed off of that.
Terrell, thank you very much. Congratulations on a super effort by you and your teammates, and good luck over there in the Pro Bowl.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
With the Super Bowl over, coaches and general managers turn their focus on the April draft, and that means Peyton Manning's name will be at the top of every team's wish list. Brian Burwell has the story of what could be the next John Elway.
The pattern rarely changes. The road from college to the pros increasingly has become all too brief because of the mad riches that pro sports now offer. Yet 3 young stars have recently reminded us that the path to professional fame and fortune need not be made in a heated rush. Grant Hill and Tim Duncan in basketball, and now Peyton Manning in football.
I wasn't really trying to make a statement for what's right in college football, but I do think that I wanted to say, hey, if you want to stay, it's okay. Don't do it because you think you have to go. I guess Grant and Tim and I sort of broke the norm. It is okay to stay, be a senior, try and stay healthy. Hopefully the same opportunities will be there for you the next year.
The choice to stay in school was easy for Manning, the son of everybody's All-American Ole Miss legend Archie Manning. Young Peyton was born into an affluence that made it possible for him to avoid the difficult economic debate some less privileged athletes must deal with.
I think it's wrong for athletes to simply use college football as a stepping stone for the NFL. I think if you're just in a rush to get somewhere, you're missing out on a great part of life. So don't ever be complacent or satisfied. Always try to get better, but enjoy where you are, and that's what I've done in college.
Though returning for his senior year did not end up with the storybook finish, no Heisman Trophy, no national championship, Peyton's college memories were irreplaceable.
Memories and friendships that I made this year, those are things money just can't buy. You know, conducting the band, something you don't get to do very often. But a chance to do that and kind of a spur-of-the-moment deal, that's something you'll never forget.
The semester's over and Peyton is back in New Orleans visiting his high school alma mater, watching his younger brother play ball.
Tonight is a rarity for Peyton Manning. He is just another face in the crowd, trying to enjoy the final moments of his youth when sports is nothing but fun and games. But of course, all of that will change in the ensuing months. Sports will become a business filled with tough decisions and unforeseen challenges. But Archie Manning's kid is looking forward to all that with absolutely no regrets.
You know, I have no regrets. I never looked back. I never followed any particular NFL team this year. I watch Monday Night Football. I watch Inside the NFL, and I keep up with pro football, but never said what if. What if I had done that? I never played that game. There was no guarantee of what team I would have gone to last year, just like there is no guarantee at this point this year.
The NFL team that most likely would have drafted him was the revamped New York Jets, who last season employed both backup Glenn Foley and third-string Ray Lucas. And with quarterback instability still there, Peyton could have been competing for a starting job right now.
Bill Parcells is my friend, and that'd been a great place, but he wanted to play college, and maybe the Jets will still wind up with him. Who knows?
The 3-13 Colts have this year's first pick, and with longtime family friend Jim Mora recently hired as head coach, many believe Peyton will surely wind up there.
You get a sense, as a former quarterback, the head coaches that you want to play for, and Jim Mora's a guy you'd want to play for.
Like when his dad was drafted by the Saints, the pressure of an entire city to be a team savior will be on Peyton's back no matter where he winds up.
Being the son of the quarterback here in town, it sort of taught me early on what it was going to be like. I spent the last year sort of, I guess, being a front runner for a lot of things, and I think when you start out on top, there's really nowhere to go but down. People are going to pick at you. They're going to try to find your faults. And so if you're going to play pro football, college football, you better have thick skin. And I've always had that. I understand that's part of the game. That's just part of life.
It seems Peyton Manning has been preparing for this moment since he was a kid who once lived comfortably in the shadows of his larger-than-life dad, and now cast an even taller shadow of his own. And come draft day, he may have some grown-up decisions to make about his own future.
There's more quarterbacking talent in that Manning household than most NFL teams take to training camp every single year. And speaking of talent, our own Gary Myers joins us now. And Gary, my first question, of course, is, will Peyton Manning be the #1 pick in this year's draft?
Well, Chris, according to general managers and personnel people around the league that I speak with, they say, yes, Peyton Manning will be the first pick in the draft over Ryan Leaf, the quarterback from Washington State. They claim that Manning is the best prepared quarterback to come into the NFL in a very long time. They say Leaf might have better long-range potential because he's got that rocket arm, but Manning will go first. Now the question is, will the Indianapolis Colts, who pick first, use that pick on Peyton Manning? A lot of people think that Bill Polian will trade that pick, and they think that he'll trade it to Carolina in a package that will include Kerry Collins and a #1 pick, which is 14th overall. Polian said he's heard from 6 teams already looking to trade up for that pick.
Well, if the team can't find the player they like in the draft, there's always free agency, and with all that extra television money, this could be a crazy year, right?
Chris, this is going to be the most volatile free agent market we've seen yet because the salary cap is going to go up at least $12 million because of that extra TV money. It's a great year for defensive tackles. Daniel Stubblefield from the 49ers, John Randall from the Vikings, Eric Swan from the Cardinals. Also, Dorsey Levens, the running back from the Packers, had a great year in his free agent year, and he'll get a lot of money if he makes it to the market. The Packers want to sign him before the period starts on February the 13th.
All right, now I want you to gaze into your crystal ball concerning this offseason. Mine broke after the Broncos won the Super Bowl. What do you see?
Well, Chris, you know, there's one coaching opening left. That's in Dallas. I think Jerry Jones will make his decision early next week. I believe he'll pick Terry Donahue over George Seifert and Sherm Lewis, the offensive coordinator from Green Bay. Will John Elway play next year? He hasn't told anybody exactly what his plans will be, including Marvin Demoff, who's represented Elway his entire 15-year career. Demoff does believe Elway will be back in '98, could be a farewell tour. Packers coach Mike Holmgren has expressed interest in becoming the coach and general manager in Seattle, but as of Thursday, Seattle had not even called the Packers to ask for permission. It's a moot point anyway because on Wednesday, the Packers told Holmgren they will deny permission to any team that wants to talk to him. They want him to coach out the last 2 years of his contract at least. The biggest name player in the offseason who's currently under contract, they'll either be cut or traded, Jets quarterback Neil O'Donnell.
All right, well, Gary, we'll see you next year.
Okay, Chris.
Well, we started this season with questions about John Elway's future after a preseason injury, and we're ending the season the exact same way with questions about Elway's future. But in between, this has been one heck of a year.
The 1997 NFL season surprisingly belongs to the Denver Broncos. Their unbelievable upset over the Packers actually mirrors a lot of what transpired over the last 22 weeks. Not everything went according to plan. As a matter of fact, there were many shocking, sometimes unusual, and other times magical moments which made this year more compelling than others.
Gerbach throwing for the end zone. Got it. He got a touchdown. Ball down, and the kick is fake. Sweeping to the left, a fumble. The Cowboys recover, and it is gone. Gone.
It was one of those plays that people will remember for a while. I know I'll remember it for a while.
The game was 60 minutes, not 30 minutes, not 35 minutes, not even 59 minutes. And we held in there together, and we came out with a victory.
Is this fun or what? That's the best win I've ever had. Good job, defense. Good job.
Thanks, fellas. I've been around a long time. I think we became a team today. We became a team.
Look out. Goodbye. TD for TD.
It's real clean, it's real quiet, but it makes a big statement. You do it, you walk out the field. People are like, whoa.
Cordell goes in for the Steelers touchdown.
It makes me feel good to be mentioned in the same breath as, you know, Jim Taylor.
All right, Stubby. One more, Stubby.
When my mom died, it was time for me to grow up and become a young man. But she's definitely my angel.
The challenge is so great to play great NFL quarterback. It is addictive in many ways.
The thing that I enjoy about football is it's aggressive. You can kick the shit out of somebody and not have to worry about going to jail for it.
If I stop playing while I can, then I'll die. I mean, you know, I mean, just a part of me dies, and I don't want to do that.
I just want that feeling to know that I'm on a world championship team. That's really what it is.
I never dreamed that all of this stuff would happen, good and bad, in such a short period of time.
Barry cut back. Now he's got it. 50, 40, 30.
That's what Barry can do. He can embarrass you. He can put fear in your heart, man.
To the 5. He's well over 2,000 now. The reverse to Jerry Rice. He's grabbed by Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp grabbed up around the neck and brought down Jerry Rice, and Rice is injured.
You never see Jerry get hit or, and he just lay on the ground. He's always going to pop right back up.
We kind of looked at each other and was like, no, we got to just go out there and play, you know what I mean?
When I come back, I just want to really let the game come to me.
What we got right now is a lack of confidence. We do suck. At this point in time, we're not living up to the expectation.
It's been frustrating for myself. It's been frustrating for everybody.
Barry will be stepping down as coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
We're trying to get this kid out of his diapers and into his regular street clothes. And today, we took those Huggies off.
Right from training camp, we knew that any respect we got, it was going to come through winning football games. It wasn't going to be anything else.
You can't look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and say, well, we got an easy win. They are physical, they are tough, and they will just flat out hurt you.
How about a little get better on 3? 1, 2, 3, get better! We're the future virus.
What did you think when Bill Cowher kissed you after that Baltimore game?
I've been hearing this one since the kiss, I guess.
Leon Shelton looking to throw it, angles it to the end zone, and it is juggled. Is it picked off? Oh, no, he was out of bounds when it was intercepted.
When you write a book, you have something to say. I felt very strongly about what I said.
Okay. Yep, slam dunk.
I played the game mad. I don't know, it was like when I put the uniform on, I was a totally different individual.
If you chose to make a decision for yourself and begin to think for yourself, then you're a troublemaker.
I'm up underneath Jethro so much and pushing him back into the end zone. You can't even see me. So, it was a double team.
I'm sure he would love to get some credit. And maybe someday he will, but he's not going to get a whole lot from me.
The thing that has, without a doubt, made me the strongest in my life has been the girls that are in my life. I learned how to be a man from my children and my wife.
It's a great history we have here. And each one of you guys are very close to my heart and to my family's heart.
Play hard, play clean, play to win.
We said along, we didn't come here to win one playoff game. This is a first step. We got one mission.
One play at a time and one victory. Go!
If we fail to win a World's Championship, I'll be disappointed, but, life will go on.
This just didn't happen overnight. We are well aware of what it means to John to get a ring.
Jumping around, they rush forward. Plenty of time for John. Now squeezes, steps up in the pocket. Elway can run inside the 10. Head first. He dives inside the 5-yard line. My goodness.
This one's for John.
This NFL season never failed to surprise us. From Warwick Dunn showing us size was no obstacle, to Reggie Brown proving that miracles do happen, to the Denver Broncos reclaiming respect for the AFC. You never knew what was going to happen.
Green Bay will not forget this season because they did not repeat as Super Bowl champions. But in our pick segment, Chris Collinsworth did. He repeated the second year in a row. He is the champion.
Big trophy, too.
The big trophy. We have this fine one here that we spared no expense for.
Well, that'll look nice on your desk,
Thrilled.
Chris.
Very nice.
I guess we're through talking about that, but I want to talk about the future. What do you think the future is in the National Football League?
Lenny, I think the future started in that last Super Bowl. I think it was the most important Super Bowl since Super Bowl III when Joe Namath gave credibility to the AFL. And I think with Denver winning this, they're going to prove that the AFC is going to be a dominating force for the next 3 or 4 years.
Well, you talk about credibility, Jerry. I think it's about time that the league put the game back in the hands of the players. The competition committee has to have some courage, and they have to change that pass interference rule. You can't have a play that go down and gain 40 or 50 yards just because a secondary man goes up and bumps a receiver. I think it has to be changed. They have to put the college rule in.
Well, I believe you're going to see those officials get a little help next year because the return of instant replay is imminent. I believe it'll be all-encompassing, covering pass interference and a lot of things that didn't cover the first time around. Maybe the coaches challenge system to implement it, but I don't know what we're going to talk about on the show after that because that's been our major complaint for years.
I know, but I know what the future calls for Letty.
What is that?
That's going to pick Kansas City to win the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. If John Elway decides to retire, if he doesn't, no way. But Jerry, you're the old wizard over there. I'm going to give you the last word.
Well, I was watching the Super Bowl, and it reminded me of an old ancient tradition, really out of Rome. And when the great conquering soldier came back to Rome, he rode in a chariot with a huge parade, but he hired a commoner to stand over his right shoulder and whisper in his ear, "All glory is fleeting." I think Green Bay did not hear the whisper.
Ooh, that is strong, isn't it? What is that from? You make
George
that up?
Patton.
Oh, George Patton.
He saw it in the movie. He didn't read that.
Yes. Well, there it is, folks. That's our show, our 21st year of HBO's Inside the NFL. Generally, when you look at this show, you're seeing the four of us up here, but I can assure you there are a lot of talented people, men and women behind the scenes who do an outstanding job. Makes the show what it is, the show the pros watch.
You know, we also want to thank the people who played along with us on our website. Over 30,000 people picked against us this year. A lot of them did a lot better than we did up here.
I beat 3 of them.
About 3 of them. So for Nick, Chris, Jerry, I'm Len Dawson. We want you to take particular attention to this tribute to a guy who I think is one of the greatest football players to ever play the game. Number 7, John Elway.
I've had my ups and downs, and but I'm proud of myself because I didn't quit.
Red 25. This guy will go down as the greatest come from behind.
We're happy to be learning and trying to fix our mistakes by winning football games, but we've got a long way to go to get where we want to be.
Coming all down to this one play right now. Elway's got the ball. John is back, runs up out of the pocket. Unbelievable. What a huge play.
Double famous special, wing 9, a one-on-one.
Hurry up, hurry up.
Well, I tell you, you ought to knight the guy.
I'm trying not to think about that. Every time I hear Super Bowl, I just want to go, ah. I'm old for my profession, but I'm just glad that I'm able to still continue to play, and I still enjoy it. So as long as I can continue to stay out of those big guys' way, I'll be all right. As long as I can keep ticking. Like a Timex, I guess.
I can't believe it. It's been a lot of work, and with so many things going against us, the AFC, NFC, all that type thing, and it's unbelievable.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports, the network of champions.
Next on HBO, 4 high school girls take to witchcraft to get revenge on their fellow students.